Hey, little mama, got a mirror in your pants? Because I see myself in them. Oh!
And for my $5 patron shoutouts for the month of March, John Paul Meyer, Tack, Average Stranger, Troy Storm, Dylan Folkers, Sean Welsh, Ethan Chan, Emmanuel Hawley, Kimberly Calderon, Sotaz, Brian Shepard, Jose Hernandez, W.R. Pearson, Isaac Herrera, Charles Nelson, Justin Weber, Scott Bloomfield, Matt Cates, Zevi Zeff, Michael D. McCormick, David Balestros, Jessica Spahn, Ryan Wallier, Charles Dooley, and Hunter Birch. Thank you all for your added support. All of you are super. Just saying.
Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood Jaxblade is back with another episode of Would That Work Out? The series where I use my knowledge of personal training and exercise science to analyze whether a fictional character's routine would actually work if attempted in real life. Today, we're going back to the 90s with the classic cartoon, y'all love him or hate him, Johnny Bravo, my dude with the shades and the muscles, alright? Gotta give my boy some love.
Am I as studly as the statue of David or what?
It seems that Johnny Bravo, aka Western All Might's workout routine, has been shared online several times with hundreds of thousands of views watching it. And I have to give a shout out to I'm Your Baby Girl for suggesting it in today's video for my last Q&A. Johnny is one buff dude, though he's pitiful not only in his attempts to pick up women, but neglecting a staple part of fitness.
I'll be skipping leg day. I'm skipping leg day. I'll be skipping leg day.
It's funny to me that I saw this episode years ago. It's called The Time of My Life, and honestly, that episode, the Mr. T episode, and the Donny Osmond episodes were always my favorite Johnny Bravo eps to watch as a kid. Hell, I even have the full version of the workout song he uses on my iPod, so I'm happy it's getting some traction finally. The main premise of the episode is that little Susie comes over to the Bravo's household and goes through Johnny's old yearbook, where she notices he hasn't always been the beefcake he is today. Johnny then tells the story of how he fell in love with a girl by the name of Sandy Baker. She was a kind, beautiful girl with a little shop of horror choir following her around and stood up for Johnny as he was picked on for being a scrawny little wuss.
I always gravitate to shows where the protagonist was bullied. I wonder why.
Anyways, Johnny asks Sandy out to the prom and she says she would love to, and not hearing anything else, she says Johnny heads home, gets some old exercise comics, and begins training from bag of bones to hunky meat muscle. Oh. Now, what's funny is a lot of kids these days don't realize that Johnny Bravo's exercise comics were actually quite a popular thing back in the day, and Charles Atlas got a bunch of kids' money with these ads and comic books back in the day. Now, the curious thing about Johnny's training from sad ass to badass is he didn't lift a single bit of iron. All his muscles were built strictly from resistance bands and protein shakes over the course of 6 weeks.
Now, removing the Kaioken-esque muscle inflation our boy got, could you realistically go from this to this over the course of 6 weeks, 100% just using resistance bands, all natty?
No! No! No!
Now, unless you've got some insane genetics, let me explain why.
Now, if you've seen any of my past Would That Work Out episodes, you know full well about the term newbie gains, which I explained the process for a lot of these characters who start working out as teenagers. For those who don't know, I'll briefly summarize it as I've done before. When you are a complete beginner as a teenager who starts working out for the first time with resistance training, you can build muscle and burn fat at the same time from your training, which is incredibly difficult later on in life, and you usually have to pick phases to bulk up to add size and phases to get cut and lean so that your muscularity shows off your aesthetics nicely. If looking good is your main goal, that's the easiest way to go about it, because most other fast ways to build muscle and burn fat at the same time, like teenagers, is with added help. But for example, look at a freshman who plays football who's consistent with their training up until senior year. A lot of them are yoked depending on the amount of discipline they put in the weight room because of that and eating a lot. Now, Johnny as a teenager did get a boost from these newbie gains and consistency with working out, but due to it being such a small scale of time, he wouldn't go from Shaggy to He-Man in that time frame. And even if he did have help from human growth hormone and steroids, it would take the average person months to increase their size that amount unless they just have absolutely insane genetics. Examples of insane genetics are folks like, Mike Tyson, who never really had a neck. Maybe Johnny does have just really insane genetics.
But besides that, I know most of you want to know, can resistance bands get me jacked like Johnny? So let's look at the benefits of resistance bands. Now, resistance bands are actually great in their own right as they're very portable, and if you're trying to travel and do a good workout and they don't have a gym on the standby, and since you can't bring a bunch of dumbbells with you or weight vests with you as that could weigh you down, they're just easier to bring along because they give you different challenges for the different type of band you have. For example, this one right here is about, let me see, 13 pounds of tension. So it gets more tension the more you pull it apart. This one right here is about 20 pounds of tension. And then this one right here is about 30 pounds of tension. Now keep all this in mind. I'm about to, don't worry, I'm explaining this. Now, like I mentioned briefly before, the way resistance bands work is they increase the level of resistance the more you pull them apart. So for example, let's take this 20-pound band right here. So this right here, I'm just holding it, nothing to deal with, not that big a deal. But when I start to pull it apart, that's when I feel the struggle. I start to feel more and more resistance to the point where it gets really difficult. And that's different from, say, the dumbbell, which I'm about to get all sciencey with right now. Also, this is the closest dumbbell I could grab, so just deal with it for the time being.
Now, if we go under the microscope and look at the muscular anatomy and physiology of the fibers, you see the way MFP, aka muscle force production, plays out in your body.
So I'm gonna try and explain this in a easy to understand way. So let me take this dumbbell right here, right? So at the beginning, see right here, the dumbbell at the bottom of the movement, the MFP, muscle force production, is at its weakest. Now when I curl up here, it's at its strongest, like midpoint, that's its strongest. At the top, it's weak again, just like the axis showed, but because I can't go any further back. See, so I'm pretty much stuck here. Now when I go back down, like that's always why they say focus on the eccentrics. That's what's really gonna get you that nice deep contraction. Because remember, muscles grow from time under tension. So that's important to, like, if you choose too heavy a weight, then you're not gonna get it because you're just swinging the thing up or like trying to like cheat it. Or if you use too light, then you could just pretty much do this for a while. And even if you slow it down, like you may get some stuff, it's good to pick the right weight for this. Now we're gonna switch over to the band. Now, if I take this band, right, this one doesn't have handles, I'll use this one. All right, so if I take this band now, right, so I'm just gonna step on it. It's the same principle. So hold on. Right here, at the weakest of the movement, all right, it's still weak. The MFP is weakest here. When I get here, it's stronger, and at the top, it's its strongest because the tension is trying to pull that band back down to the ground. So you can feel a really deep contraction, like you're really pushing. So see if you can see me twerk it. Yeah, see, all right, there we go. And then I'm gonna just slowly let that down. That's why you can get a really nice pump. Let me see if that camera's focusing. Can you see me? Am I John Cena-ing? All right, so let me show that again just for, you know, references and you'll get an understanding. When I do it here with a dumbbell, like just the dumbbell by itself, weakest at the bottom, strongest in the middle, like that's the most contraction. Then at the top, it's weak again because like you can't go any further back, okay? That's all you got. And then you just slowly let it down and then get a nice pump. Then when I use the band, all right, it's weakest at the bottom, stronger right here, and then strongest at the top because the band is pulling itself back to the ground, is like giving you that added resistance. I hope I'm explaining this in an easy to understand way because I remember when I took this class like years ago, like back in like 2010, stuff like that, the teacher was explaining like all about the sarcomeres and stuff that happens inside the cell and muscles and stuff like that. And I could go into that, but I'm more into just making it easy to understand and help you follow along.
Now this has its pros and cons because if the band is too heavy, you can't pull it up or apart like what we saw happen to Johnny. That legit happens in real life. But if it's too light, it's not going to give you as much gains as you would like. So an easy fix to this, as many fitness enthusiasts would tell you, is just to mix both weights and bands together. As weight training when it comes to adding straight muscle size and strength is the best there is for fastest, note I'm saying fastest, results. Calisthenics and bands are great, but if you're doing them by themselves, it does take a bit longer to get results compared to incorporating weight training, which can give results rather fast. But don't neglect bands. They may not give everyone the mass, but they definitely help develop those little small stabilizing muscles, which in turn will help you maintain aesthetics and help you grow and fill out properly, just helping the other muscles as well. Anyways, another factor I absolutely have to bring up in this video is the fact that our boy Johnny was crushing mad hard on Sandy, and that can actually be a huge factor in getting you great fitness results. Because here's the thing, I mentioned this in my Kenichi video as well, but I want you to really think back of something. So, I want you to think back of a time when you really had a massive crush, like a really massive crush on someone. You were motivated to meet them, wake up earlier if you could do anything to be alone with them, talk to them, or be better for them because you thought if you improved yourself, they would just take notice of you, like, hey, this person's pretty cool. The majority of folks are guilty of this, working out to impress a girl or just a crush, and if you're asexual who's not into romance, that's fine as well, but being motivated because you love someone and you want to be the best you can be for them because you think they deserve it is such a common thing.
Not gonna lie, several times in my life, there are times where I met a girl and everything was just clicking, and I was like, I'm gonna work out extra hard to like impress her or something like that, make her go, wow, you go, something like that. So if I start going out with her, then she'd be like, oh yeah, my boyfriend is such a hunk, you know, something like that. It's just a nice little ego boost. Because back in the day, I had no self-confidence in myself, no self-confidence. If I didn't have like nice ripped abs and stuff like that, like I do right now or stuff like that, I would just feel like I'm not worthy to be a person, and that's not the right way of thinking. That's not the right way of thinking. Like, it's just always gonna be personality and looks and stuff like that, and people just click on various things. But I had no self-confidence, nothing. So I would always just feel like, oh, if I don't have this, I'm not worthy for a relationship. Because I would want, if I was going out with a girl, I would want her to be like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, he is such a hunk stud muffin, he is so freaking hot. I mean, it's different if we're like being adult, well, I'll be PG about this, you know, like having a hookup or something like that, and it's just like, okay, you find me attractive, I find you attractive, let's go relieve some tension. And it's different. There are guys who are just like, oh yeah, I love my woman, she's my queen, she's like the hottest girl ever, I can't believe I got with her. So I would like to feel that way if I ever got like a girlfriend, just, you know, like, oh, my boyfriend is just so hot, he's so great, I freaking love him to death, you know, sort of like how Yamato thought of Takeo, even though like people thought different. Like, it just seems like it would be like, you know, a nice feeling or something. This just got surprisingly sappy, didn't it?
Anyways, would Johnny Bravo's training work in real life? This is one where I say following the three-leg stool of fitness religiously, staying consistent and disciplined, and having a positive attitude could get you some results from just band training, especially as a beginner, but unless your genetics are something comic book worthy, you'd more than likely would not get that Johnny extra beef burger physique that he has. Furthermore, we see Johnny working out quite a few times in the series, and he's always pumping iron like a stereotypical bro. Not mentioning doing karate and dancing, but one thing Johnny still disgraces the fitness gods with. Now be sure to go watch the episode The Time of My Life and see how it ends. I don't want to spoil it for you, and I want you to enjoy it. Anyways, that has been my video for today. Thank you all for watching all the way to the end. And if you like my content and want to help me create more videos like this, then why not step past my Patreon, where you can see a ton of helpful, great rewards as gratitude for helping me out. And I'm incredibly appreciative of all of you for helping me keep these up. Also, be sure to hit that bell icon by the subscriber button, because that will let you know the moment I upload, and I may just have a surprise coming somewhere down the line, besides my Project Deku, which is about 86% completed, and it should be out in the next couple of weeks.
Well, dudes and dudettes, so that was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. So be sure to share it with all your friends and family, or anyone who like loves this sort of thing I do, because I always have a ton of fun doing these, and it's just fun to share it and read the comments and stuff like that. And you know, it's just good to talk to you. So leave your comments below. I'd love to read them. And for people who are wondering, the All Might Aim to Pass the American Dream Plan in real life thing I've been working on these last few months is in its final stages. I should have a release date for you very soon. Just wanted to keep that heads up. Like, I've been working really hard on it. That's why I actually didn't upload for a while, because I had so much stuff to get done. And you know, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on. Don't forget, Momentai. Now go get Jaxblade, John. Oh.